Shalom Akim. This is Yahweh Tazah. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Washai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. Yahweh Shem Washai Ba'ashem Kakwadash Barakatah Makim. I want to go into Matthew 13 and go into the parable of the sower. Okay. When you come into this thing, man, when you come into this truth, following Yahweh Ba'ashem Washai, it's pleasing to one, if they accept it, if it resonates with them. But there's also a trialing of who you are. This is, people don't really know who they are until they come into the truth. When they come into the truth, you start to find things out, if you're really what you're made of, and that's what Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai is ultimately going to do with a lot of these people out here, man. He's going to take the things that they're comfortable, their necessities, their benefits, the cares of this life. He's going to take them away, and he's going to show them what they really were, all right, and what they really are. But when you're called into this truth, Yahweh Shai, because he's searching for the elect, okay? He's looking for the elect, and the elect, they're going to endure to the end. And the only way you're going to endure to the end is that if you're the elect, first and foremost. But the scriptures say put on as the hopeful elect, because we don't know who the elect is. Okay? So whenever you go into certain things, certain situations, trials and tribulations, that's just to strengthen you. You got to look at it as a strengthening exercise, okay? Because the scripture says tells us to be in pain. All right, and you want to be comfortable all your life, and do whatever you want and eat whatever you want, and have no care or no worry. That's not building your character. But when things get real, when you're faced with certain things, then that's where it tests your integrity to see who you really are. Okay? So I want to go into Matthew 13 and 18. It says, "Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart, which is he which received seed by the wayside." So the seed, it represents the word, okay? Because the seed is what, the mind, like I said, the heart, we know that in the Hebrew is lab, the mind, which goes back to the the cogitations of the mind, all right? And it says that this is one that doesn't understand, so the wicked one comes immediately and just snatches it away. So he's caught on the wayside. But he that received the word into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. So this individual, he receives it with joy, but only endures for a little while. And it tells you for tribulation, persecution, but it could be adversity. It could be something that's going on in your own personal life. It don't always have to revolve around the severity of it, what it's saying right here, because ultimately we're all going to be tested in the hour of temptation, which is being faced with the RFID chip, no food, okay, no water, seeing death, okay? And it's going to say, because of the word, by and by he is offended, meaning that you can't take it no more. All right? You're going to be upset with what you're being shown or what you're going through. It says, "He also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful." Meaning that you ain't gonna be doing nothing. You return the scriptures say, the proverb, it says a dog returneth to his own vomit. You know, when you eat vomit, it don't profit you nothing, man. There's no nutrients, there's nothing in that. It's just complete, uncleanness. Okay? And we're all faced with these things. Man, there's nothing uncommon to, everything is accomplished. The same thing in your brethren, man, that are in the world. Matter of fact, let me bring it out. Let's see. This is 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant. Right? You have to be sober-minded and being vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He wants to take that seed away from you. He'll use the cares of this life. He'll use because, you as an individual weren't rooted within yourself. You weren't solid. You didn't have any form of integrity. You didn't have courage. Or he just came and snatched it up real quick immediately. It says, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So everything that is mentioned there in Matthew 13, we all go through it, man. It says, but the power of all grace who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Yahweh Mashiach, after that you have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. To him be glory, dominion forever and ever. And that's what individuals don't think about when they fall out or they give up or they, they're chasing pussy. They're chasing these women that don't give shit about them, jobs and, trying to control everything or carry a load that they're not supposed to be carrying. They end up falling out. They don't trust in Yahweh Bashim Shai as being their comforter. He says, come all you that are heavy laden, for my burden is light, man. This ain't supposed to be hard for you. Everything else you should be willing to cast the fuck out, but it should never be an option to give up. Because the Lord says, after that you have suffered a while, what we're going through ain't shit compared to what the Most High is going to give us. It says, and make you perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. And I've always said this, the Lord can, through personal experience, there's times where I feel great, and there's times where I feel low. He picks me up, brings me down. He picks me up, brings me down. Why? To keep me humble, to keep me trusting in Yahweh Bashim Shai. Not being proud, not being arrogant, not being better than another brother or trying to be condescending to another brother. And that's part of the things why people fall out is because their attitude, man. They're not really evaluating themselves. They think this is a goddamn game. This ain't no game, man. And everything that's going on right now in the world, you would think that people would snap out of certain things, but they're not. Somebody hit me up earlier today, a friend that's in the world, and he's been out there when I preached on the highways and the byways. 2 times he's been out there with me, just on the side. And I would always tell him, man, hey, by you even doing that out of everybody in my city, you took the time to come out and sit here with me while I preached twice. I was like, that means a lot. That says a lot, but it isn't in there. There's certain things that you have to do. You got to stop eating pork. You got to stop shaving. You got to stop getting your shit lined up. But then he ended up, wanting to not talk shit, but he would be like, yeah, come over to eat, but I'm making pork, trying to be like a little scoffer in a sense, but do it underlining. And I told him today, he goes, hey, I miss you, bro. And I was like, this shit's going down. It's really happening now. So I threw scriptures at him, not to make him feel any type of way like I'm better than him, but for him to see that in the scriptures and what we do and what I was doing was because of this very time, to be covered. And I told him at the end, repent And he was like, I want to know the right way. I was like, I've tried telling you the right way. I've told you what you should do, and you didn't do it. Instead, you laughed. You when it came to eating pork, it came to shaving, and various other things. You know? And this ain't no game, man. That's all I gotta say. So going back to where was I? Matthew 13 and Salakia. Let me see. I'm tripping. I think I got I started in the wrong spot. Let's go back. Let's go right here. This is where I started. Should have started up, but let me come back where I was. Matthew 13 and 23. But he that receiveth seed. Well, let me read this one again. Matthew 13 and 22. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. But he that received seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some 100-fold, and some 60, some 30. So let's go into that word understandeth, because it's one thing you reading, you can comprehend, what this word is about, but also do you understand that it's about obedience? Do you understand that it's about being subject to Yahweh Shema Shai, subject to one another? Okay, I'm talking about the akim. This is outline of biblical usage that says to set or bring together in a hostile sense or combat. To put, as it were, the perception with thing perceived, to set or join together in the mind, that is to understand, the man of understanding, the idiom for a good and upright man, having the knowledge of those things which pertain to salvation. Okay, so having a good and upright, a good and upright man, having the knowledge of those things which pertain to salvation, and the things that pertain to salvation is being obedient, man. It says to put together, that is mentally to comprehend, by implication to act piously, consider, understand, be wise. Okay. Let's go back. So it says, he that receiveth seed into the ground, the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit and bringeth forth fruit, some 100-fold, and some 60, and some 30. Let's go over here to the book of John, chapter 15. It says in verse 1, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not the fruit taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit he purgeth it, that it may bring forth fruit. So the Lord is purging. When we go through being chastening and go through hardships and stuff like that, it's not meant to break you. It's meant to purge things out of you, to bring forth more fruit. It says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can you except you abide in me. You see? So, it started out with the seed, and it grew, and the Lord said if it didn't bring forth fruit, that was going to be taken away. But if it was to bring forth fruit and abide, in order for it to abide, you have to remain in Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why a lot of guys, they fall out, because they try to go their own way. They try to veer to the other way instead of staying in what was prescribed to them, the instructions that was given and laid to them. They try to deviate from all that. So then they end up in a fucked up situation. It says, I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. See, without him, you can't do the work. Nobody, even if you're out there doing the work, it's a sign to one. Okay, something, there's a power there that is pushing this individual to do it. Okay, but we know that there's times where it's not Yahweh Shai. It's because of other people's vainglory, or because they want to be admired by individuals, because they're looking for views, for subscribers, to they love to hear themselves or see themselves on camera because they think they're somebody. There's various things, but there's a power behind it. But the power, and it's just a matter of time when you start picking up on those things. You start seeing the gimmicks, the bullshit, versus the ones that are sincere about it. You'll be able to have the ability to begin to discern between those that serve the Most High and don't. That really mean, care about doing the work, feeding the flock, care about edifying brothers, and sharing the things that they've learned with other brothers. It says, "For without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you," see, his words have to abide in you. You have to let them settle and take root. You shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciples. You see? So let's go over here to the book of Colossians 2. It's Colossians 2, and let me see where it is. This is Colossians 2 and 6. As you have therefore received Yahweh Mashiach the Lord, so walk you in him. All right? You have to walk in him. Where does it say? Was it 1 Peter 2? Yeah, 1 Peter 2 and 1. Wherefore lay aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envyings and all evil speakings. As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. If so be you have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Okay? So it's just like a seed. It has to taste that water and absorb the nutrients from the earth, and then it'll begin to grow. And the sunlight and everything has to be right for it, right? It's the same thing with the baby. They need that milk in order to grow. Okay? If you don't got these basic fundamentals, you're gonna wither away. You got to put away the world. You got to put away the malice. You got to put away the hypocrisies, the guile, the envyings, and the evil speakings, and the pride, and your women, your children. You got to put all that fucking shit to the side, man, in order to grow and to be, as I was gonna read here in Colossians 2 and 6 again. As you have therefore received Yahweh Mashiach the Lord, so walk you in him. So you have to grow in him. In order to grow in him, you'll be able to walk in him in faith by way of the Spirit, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as you have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. And that's plain, man. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Mashiach. Okay, and that's including your own self, your women, your family, your own mentality. You are your worst enemy, man. For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power. Okay? So you have to be rooted and built up in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, established in the faith. Point blank period. If you want to endure in this thing, you have to have a fortified mind, man. Okay? You got to know that the things that you're faced with in your trials and tribulations, temptations, that some of them may get you, but you have to overcome. You have to stand back up and get back on the ball, man. You got to remember also, this thing is like a business. This is a profession. This ain't no thing where you like in the world with the stupid ass Christians. They can do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. They come to the Lord when they want. And being part of GMS, if you ain't following along in those lines, and you ain't doing everything that you can in your power, then you're not part of that. You can join IUIC. You can join all these other camps that go out just in the summertime. They don't go out in the winter, and they're you don't even see them anymore. They don't do nothing. You know, it says, as you have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. So you've been taught. You've had many examples and eyewitnesses of how one is to behave himself within this ministry. Okay, so I just wanted to bring this out. Maybe there's brothers out there, that are struggling and going through things, and this thing, it's something to consider, man. You have, when you come into this thing, also you're supposed to count the cost, man. Let's see. Forget what verse it's at. Let me see. Counteth Luke 14:28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? And it's about finishing this, man. Okay. You got to count the cost before you come into this thing. You can't just give up. I mean, you can, but there's a penalty. There's something that comes with it, and what comes with it is not. There's nothing good in it. This is 2 Timothy 4:7. For I have fought a good fight, I have finished my course, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto them also that love is appearing. So with that, shalom.